it's time to start tearing down some more stuff in the engine bay that I need to design around. So I'm gonna pull out the air box over here for the HVAC, and then I'm gonna pull out the ABS module and see what else comes out along the way. All right, this is where I want to put the ABS module, just behind the tire, pretty good distance away. I designed and 3D printed this little bracket. The real one will be sheet metal, but this is a good representation of what I'm trying to do. So until that one comes in, I can use this one to bend up some brake lines. But as you can see, these are just some through holes, and I don't want to drill these out and weld nuts on the back or anything like that, just so I don't lose the OEM coating there. So I'm going to use some more riv nuts and use these 3 holes here, bolt this bracket on, and then I can start bending up some brake lines. And now I've turned that through hole into a threaded hole. How cool is that? Pretty cool. There we go. I should be able to take this bracket and bolt it on. Awesome. So now I don't have to wait for the Sin Cut Sin bracket to come in. You can see like this one's kind of flimsy, but it is holding like a 5-pound ABS module. So the original, or the real one's going to be 1/8 inch thick stainless, so that won't be a big deal at all. But this is plenty enough, sturdiness for me to run some brake lines up and through here and whatnot. So when the brake hose gets here, I can get those bent. I'm going to get this wiring zip tied up out of the way temporarily, and then I'm going to start working on some brake lines. I'm going to start with the easiest one because I haven't bent a brake line, a hard line, in a long time. My 3D printed bracket has seen some better days. By that I mean one better day because I installed it yesterday. But I keep hitting it when I'm moving these wires around and stuff, and I didn't really expect it to last that long. So I'm probably just going to have to like zip tie that into place too, so I can make these lines. That bracket won't be here from Sin Cut Sin for probably like another week. So yeah, I'm gonna get these zip tied and then start laying out some brake lines. They just showed up from Summit, and yeah, we'll see how they turn out. Okay, that's actually like exactly where it's supposed to be. Zip ties for the win. So let's open this box from Summit and make sure I ordered the right stuff. Some copper nickel brake line. I think that is, oh, and of course, some Summit stickers. Let's tuck those up here so I don't lose them. Because the master cylinder supplied to the ABS module uses big chunky boy line. So this is 1/4 inch line. Technically it's like 7 mil line or something. Oh, I like this. Another semi-small business that sells on Summit, asking for reviews. I support it. I'm a small business. Write me a review. As long as I like it, I'll post it. What I really need is a tube straightener. And I knew this and forgot about it anyway, so I didn't make one yet. And I could have bought one, but I didn't. Mostly because I forgot about it until my buddy Corey mentioned it when he was over here yesterday. Oh, this stuff is nice and soft. I like that. So this copper and nickel stuff is cool because it's like easier to bend than traditional like stainless line and stuff like that. And it's like shiny. It's nice. It looks good. My buddy Charlie was nice enough to drop off a bender and a little tube cutter. And I've got plenty of TIG filler rods, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to bend it up to the shape I think it needs to be. And then try to straighten out some of that copper nickel tube and bend it up with the bender and make it not look terrible. And I'm going to leave it a little bit long because the new tube nuts to thread into the hose ends are not here yet. Those were back ordered. Of course. You want to build a project car in 4 months? Don't order stuff that's going to be back ordered. And if you've ever done hard lines, you know that probably going to mess one or two of them up, and you're definitely going to forget to put the nut on them at one point before you flare it. And so I'm clearly just bending this by hand as a template, and then I will use that to bend the hard line against. So now I'm just laying this up against the line so I can figure out how much I need. Just roughly, I'm going to cut it long. That way I got plenty for mistakes, which I make a good amount of. Little tube cutter guy. Go around a couple times, tighten it every couple times. It's just the standard plumbing, like house plumbing stuff we're doing right now. There you go. Now I got a little cut tube. All right, and now I'm gonna try to straighten this just a little bit. You can see it's pretty bent. I think before I do any of the other lines, I will make that tubing straightener. I feel like I saw a Sloppy Mechanics video where someone just drilled a hole through a 2x4 and then just shoved it through the 2x4. That would probably work just fine. But I'm trying to make things nice here, so pretty close to straight for what we're doing. Got my tube bender here. Put it in and whoop, bend it around kind of deal. Template. I'm just gonna line this up here. Make a mark in the center of the bend with whatever this knockoff Sharpie is. I figured I'd try this on the easiest one first and then... Look at that, boom! Pull it out, compare it to the template. Wow, I'm pretty good. Pretty good. So now I'm gonna make another mark down here. Gotta remember, you can always bend it more. It's harder to unbend it. Let's see how I did. Bend number 2. Are we 2 for 2? Ooh, I went a little further. It's kind of hard to gauge where the bend is gonna start. But if I put that in here, I think that still works just fine. Hope my neighbors think I'm insane just out here talking to myself. I'm pretty impressed with the first one like that. Hopefully I'm not getting my hopes up that they all turn out that good, but that's pretty impressive, I think. Right now I'm just cutting off the excess because if I do that, I can leave it in there. And once I get the tube nuts, then I can flare everything, but there you have it. A brake line. To straighten out a coiled brake line like this, there's a bunch of different tools you can buy. They're basically just a bunch of these little wheels, and they're in a line and then in a bunch of different directions, and you slide the hose through and it straightens it out. I could have bought one of those, and I kind of forgot about it, but I have so many of these. These are leftover 3D printer, like replacement maintenance bearing wheel things. I think I needed like 2 or 3 of them at one time, but you could only buy them like a 50 pack. So I 3D printed some little plates, super simple. I designed this in like 3 minutes yesterday, printed it overnight. Now I can do brake lines today, but I'm going to put some heat certs in one side for some M5s. Bolts go through the other side, sandwich them. Most of those tools are only made for one size of brake line. I'm not going to buy 2 tools, so there's 2 different paths here, and one of them's a little bit further apart because I've got the 3/16 diameter brake hose, and then I've got the 1/4 inch diameter brake hose. So I'm going to get this assembled and then see if it works. Okay, so for a 3-minute design, not that bad. You can see they're sticking up. Not a big deal because I was going to have to use a washer under here because of the bearing. So if I didn't use a washer and I just clamped down the 2 halves like this, it would keep the poly wheel from spinning. So now I don't have to use one because there's a nice little gap there. We'll see if I actually have to use one at all on the top. I might just not tighten it and see what happens. So I'm going to grab an Allen key, these bolts, and all these wheels, and get this put together. Okay, all the bolts are in. I pushed out a lot of the plastic in the back, which is fine. Oh, they roll with a decent amount of friction. I don't know if you can tell. This side, the rollers are closer together for the smaller hose. This side, they're a little bit further apart. I could have used less wheels and just had another set of holes, but whatever, we're doing it live. So you can just see it passes between the rollers. It straightens out. Yeah. So, not perfect, and I knew that this might happen, but if you can see, the wheels have this little chamfer on the edges, and so what happens is, it gets stuck. Well, it doesn't get stuck, but the hose can come over here, in between the chamfers, where it's not actually touching the sides of the wheel. So it's just going to take me a little extra time of sliding it back and forth to get that to work. But having your own shop, make your own tools, even if they only kind of work. But cool stuff. I'm going to straighten out this brake hose and start making some brake lines. Yesterday was pretty successful, bending up that one hard line on the other side, the little short one. So now I'm going to try to do this one, which is the passenger side. I'm going to keep it exactly the same until it gets to here, right by the brake booster. And then it'll drop down and under and go down back to where the ABS module now is. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm just going to clip the line here, and then I only need to bend filler rod as a template for that portion. So this is a pretty long line with a bunch of bends. So we'll see how this goes. I'm not super confident, but yesterday did go pretty well. So let's see how it is. Yeah, I think that's how I want it. So I gotta disconnect the brake line from right here on the other side, and then I can start bending this line. Okay. A couple minutes late there with the paper towel. So I think actually what I might do, yeah, clean this up even more, is come through that hole over there to right here, get rid of it coming through this port. So I think I'm actually going to crawl back up there, make another quick template, trim the tube with the cutter, and then see what it'll look like. right. Easiest way to remove brake line, just cut it. I didn't really mean to break that, but I guess we're not reusing that guy. Let's get this template done up. And like I said before, I'm going to use this rubber bit as a stop. Alright, I'm going to take a piece of string, go all the way around, kind of, so I can roughly measure how long the tube needs to be that I need to cut. Spin the tube cutter around, tighten it, spin it around, tighten it, spin it around. There we go. Alright, and then I can use my handy dandy new tube straightener I made and get this tube quite a bit straighter than it is. Again, not perfect, but straighter, so it's a little bit easier to work with. Alright, let's go bend her up. I think I'm just going to pick an end and go with it. So, get my drink over at some point, watch. Let's put it in between the two dies and see what happens. Did I even twist that right? Good lord, what am I doing? And put that close to the die, big die. I think that side is going to be easier because the hose is or the line is so much shorter. Let me just try to set it up in here and see. I mean, it looks like it's close-ish. But yeah, I think I'm gonna fish this side down into where it goes first. All right, I got that brake line all zip tied in. I actually didn't film making the other brake lines just because I didn't think you wanted to watch me bend up 4 more brake lines. But I did get them in. I got the master cylinder ones in. I also got some of them flared, but I do have a couple more joints to do because the 2 that go to the rear, I'm actually just splicing right down here at the frame rail. So I'll show how to flare the tubes and put the tube nuts on. I think I'm also going to do a lot more hardline in the car just because it was really clean and not as hard to do as I expected. Normally hardline is kind of a pain. That copper nickel stuff's pretty sweet, so I might end up doing that for some fuel line stuff too, so that'd be pretty interesting. But brake line's pretty much done. ABS module's down there. The bracket will be here in a couple days. I'll get that installed. I also, clearly you can tell I've been working on a bunch of other stuff at the same time. I apologize for the continuity errors in the videos, but I'm trying to put things together that make sense. So like I did a lot of wire routing stuff too in this, like while at the same time I was doing the brake lines, but I didn't want to put that in the same video, just make it too long. So that'll be in another video. There'll be like some weird overlap, but whatever. Making good progress. Next week I will be working on the new motor, the donor motor that's about to show up. So that's going to be really exciting. That's going to move progress along a lot faster than these tiny little projects I've been doing. But in the meantime, I did manage to get some merch, so let me show it off. First off, I've always got IPFRacing stickers. I pretty much send those in every order. So I got these hashtag It's Probably Fine stickers because no one ever remembers what IPF stands for. So now there's a sticker pack on the website if you want those. I got some Velcro bagged patches. These are pretty sweet. Just a nice cheap little patch, put on your backpack or whatever. And then something I think are really cool, I just did these anodized aluminum keychains that I laser engraved here. Sin cut all these blanks and then anodized them, which is sweet. So there's like this Band-Aid one. And I've got the IPFRacing logo on the back, but here's that same It's Probably Fine. So cool keychains. Also rocking the new hat. So it's got a sweet leather patina patch on it. Really popular Richardson hat that everyone likes. And then clearly, I just got these in for my buddy Joey. So these are nice Gildan pocket tee with the IPF logo with the mesh pattern for the project. And then on the back, IPF logo, same pattern, and It's Probably Fine underneath. The merch turned out pretty sweet. There's a link down below. So like, subscribe, buy my merch so I can keep building this car. And I'm Zach, this is IPF Racing. Thanks for watching.